Hello.
Hello, guys. Welcome back
Welcome
to
back.
Life and Love with Sam J.
Jay.
I almost said I'm Samuel. I'm not Samuel.
I'm Samuel.
I'm Ojay, but OJ.
Sam for short.
So we're together. We're Sam J.
Sam J.
Sam OJ. Sam J. Nice to have you. No, nice for you to have us back on your screen, right?
Yeah. We're happy to be back.
We're happy to be back. Thank you for tuning in today. To all our new subscribers, we see you guys.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
on board.
Thank
you for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for those who commented. We love you. Thank you for your comments. We appreciate every kind of engagement that we get. So please feel free to continue to do that. We read everything. We see every like. We see every comment. And we try to respond to, the ones that we should respond to. So please keep it coming. We love it. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so we're back again this week.
We're really back, like promised.
Yes, we said we'll be back. Here we are. So this week, last week was actually our first time back in almost 2 years. Almost 2 years. So that was just a quick, see us, so we're around though. But it wasn't really a, we're back on your screens kind of update, like what has been happening.
So today we want to let you know.
Yeah, we promised to do that today. So before we get into that, we just wanted to say for anyone who this is the first video you're ever watching, from us, we are Sam and Ojay. We're children of God. We are Christ lovers. We are here to just talk about life and love and everything in between that, and Christ all around that, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right?
And the reason is because of the misconceptions about life,
about
love.
Yeah. Initially, the reason why we actually started this in the first place ever, the first time, was because my husband is I don't know if he's the first time, he's a pastor, he's a minister. And
glory to Jesus.
Calm down, stop bragging. Don't be proud. And at the time, he particularly, dealt with the young people, the youth.
Still
does. He still does that. And we had a period where, like almost back to back, he was in situations where he had to counsel people concerning marriage, either going into marriage, people who were already in marriage and had one or two issues. And we found that in a period of time, there were things that seemed to be recurring, even in different situations, different people, different lives, and also in the same lives, same issue over and over again down the line. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm rambling a bit. Yeah. So we decided together. We thought, you know what? If this is occurring often in our cycle or circle is the right word. Now circle. It's very likely that these are things that children of God all over the world encounter, single, married, and the people in between. So we thought it'd be beneficial to keep doing what we can in our little space and also bring it to a bigger platform where people can benefit anytime. Later, come back to the videos, or you're struggling with it at the moment and you God leads you here and you hear something that helps you. That was our vision at the time. And so that's why we started initially in the beginning.
So we want to say, please do well to watch our previous videos.
Yes, but
one of them is Love at First Sight.
The reason why I'm saying but is because that time we're just starting, like we didn't have anything.
We're not shy about the little beginning.
We're not shy, but just to prepare you, if you're going to go back, picture quality not great, sound even worse,
0.
But you will hear then you can hear some words in between. So yes, please go back and see some things.
It's our own success story, so we're not shy.
Yes, that's where we started from, and it's all fine, it's all good. Just be prepared for it not to be bright, as it is now. So that's the vision why we started this, and I'm just going to go back straight into the updates, right?
Yes.
So we started it as soon as we got married, and to the glory of God, the day we got married.
Sorry to pause. Now, the reason why we didn't start it before we married, we've been friends for 5 years.
Before we got married.
I felt that we both didn't have the right. That's my opinion.
I didn't agree
to share share light on, especially the matters of relationship, because we've really not made it work. All we knew was theory, research,
let me tell you why I did not agree. He has always said
Studies.
that, and I, like he said, we were friends for 5 years before we got married, and in that time I had seen him counsel people who are about to get married, and even people who were already married. But he said it was always like a it wasn't on a large platform. Right? It was people that would come approach him. Okay, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm facing. How can you talk me through this and or advise me? And he would do that on that small scale. But I would always say, bring it to a bigger, like, you have something to say on this, right? God has put something. And then he always say, no, yeah, he's not married. He doesn't have the, what did you say? What's the English? And I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me. You know why? Paul, the apostle, the Bible, never married, right? And he wrote some of the most profound scriptures on marriage. So, and this is one thing we disagree about. He refused and said that is Paul. I said if it's good enough for Paul.
Anyways, my personal
good
conviction
for Peter and Paul?
was my personal conviction.
Anyways, we've passed
We're
there.
back here now.
We have passed there.
So I had the courage
but
to start.
That's something we did not agree.
We got married and we had a few weeks, months. We watched our life as married couple.
No,
and then
only you've forgotten. We didn't wait months. It was like the next week after we got married. Let me tell the story now, so that it makes sense. So we got married, and the day we got married, the next day was this story is on our previous videos if you want to hear in depth. But the day we got married was the day we
Mondays have already too.
Yes, Abuja went into Nigeria went into lockdown for the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown. Mm-hmm. So we were shut down. We didn't have a home because we were in a hotel for 4 weeks. We didn't have we couldn't even, at that point it was really, really locked, shut down, no movement. So you couldn't even go out and drive around. We were basically locked in a box together. So it was like, I think a week or two into that, we were like, you know what, what are we doing here? We have smartphone. We might as well. So we didn't wait a month, babe. It was almost instant.
I remember.
And then we even had a 3-week update.
Yeah.
3-week marriage update. And that was in the first video. Right? So we started instant. Okay, married, I do. Now I feel like I can speak according to him.
Yeah.
So that's the summary of the story. So the reason why we were away for a while was when we started the podcast, or I don't know what you would call this at this point. Started this show. We were in lockdown, as I just said earlier, and we had complete free time. Absolutely, there was no work, nowhere to go, nothing to do, and we thought this is a good time to start. Now, what we did not account for was that when the world opens up again, life will start running at the pace life runs at, and we were not ready to. We didn't prepare to schedule this into it. Things just took off. That's what happened.
Sure.
Things just took off. I got pregnant fast, right? We went back to work into the workforce pretty quick as well, and then so many things.
A lot of things. We had issues. We had challenges with gadgets.
Oh yeah. Oh, and when we were living in Abuja at that time, it was very noisy. Compound people. You want to shoot video, and you be hearing kuku, and you be hearing carpenters working in the other flat. It was crazy. So we tried, but then the timing and everything, and then I was getting bigger and bigger, and pregnancy, and it was just a whole lot of stuff. And then shortly after having the baby, the Lord was saying to us, even during the pregnancy, he was saying to us, okay, I will not have you stay in where you are for a long time. It was just saying to us, prepare to move, right? Prepare to move. And so we're hearing that from God. And then shortly after, he gave us the plan. This is where you're going. So for those who don't know, we're no longer living in Nigeria. Yeah. We now live in England. And so all of that happened in that 2-year period. So we had the baby, we started preparing to relocate, started putting things. And then if you've relocated before, you're in the process of relocating, and you know that it's a process.
It's a process.
It's a tasking process. That's a whole other story. So all of that
happened in between.
That's why we've been away from you guys for so long. This is the story. This is what happened. And so, but to the glory of God, we've relocated successfully. We now live in England, like I said. I work, he works, we have a son. Yeah, last time we were doing this, I hadn't had a baby yet. So I have a little boy. He's doing wonderful. He's not here.
That little boy is 1 year and
a year and a half.
A year and a half.
A year and a half. I would have showed you guys, but he's not here today. He's somewhere else.
You promised to bring him next time.
Yeah, you see him very soon. So so all of that has been happening. It's a lot of things to happen in 2 years, and that's why we were not able to get back on track. But praise the Lord, we're back.
Hallelujah.
We're back on track. So today we wanted to just tell you really what has been happening with us. And
And then to let you know the lessons we also have drawn out, so that somebody who is planning to go through or who is currently going through this will draw out inspiration from it,
absolutely,
and then trust God with us the way we did.
there's so many lessons because there's so many parts, of things that have happened in the last 2 years. So I don't even know what you mean by lessons, because there are lessons, but I don't know which area you're talking about. But that's a
Are you
brief.
serious? Childbirth? What?
I'm saying that there were many things.
Okay, so we just did a summary of everything.
Summary.
So maybe we could just pick one or two from in all of it of these 2 years and
From
say
all of it.
what we've learned.
Okay.
What we've learned.
We talked about this because the last video was my birthday video, and you asked me some questions like
No,
this.
that was
So
your personal life. They're talking about family. Are you serious right now?
personal life is part of the family. Okay, you say so. All right. So what's your question? Do you have a question?
No, I don't have a specific question, but maybe I'll just start off. Maybe she'll just know what to say. If you look at us, you just discover that there's shining. I don't know how to explain.
Assuming, because you're seeing the shining. So what if somebody's not seeing the shining you're talking about?
Somebody who knew me before.
Okay.
If you knew me 2 years ago, oh brother. Okay, so what I mean by that is that God has really been faithful, has been merciful. He has been merciful. The 2 years were 2 years of really work. We're working behind the scene. We didn't just move last year. Okay, we had periods of moving house. We moved house in Nigeria, Abuja.
Yeah.
We moved house, and then my wife, this period where she was pregnant was really taxing for me. I've never been a father before, so it was my first time being a daddy. And then I had times when my wife would say, "When I want shawarma in the night."
Hey, don't say it like that.
I'm not complaining. It was fun, but it was my first time, and then I was in between. Like you guys know, I'm a minister, I'm a youth pastor, but I do jobs. I'm a professional photographer. I master events like MC.
It does a lot of things,
and then that period, the word was just coming up. There were basically some kind of jobs you can't get. Okay, people were still trying to balance, and then that period, I think I was managing a block industry. God, so many things. What humbled me was how God was able to help us all through the process. Okay.
Yeah. I just my memory is not. Your memory is far better than my memory. This is why I like videos and things that would keep records for me, because to be honest, when I pass particularly a trying period and I'm on to the next level, it's very likely I will forget some pertinent things. Like you're just talking about this now, and I'm just remembering things that I had already completely forgotten, because that period of pregnancy was kind of trying for us in the sense that I'm shortly. I didn't work for that whole period because it was just after the lockdown. We came out of lockdown. I discovered I was pregnant, and then the world was still opening up again, so to speak. So my job that I had previously was no longer there, and things like that. A lot of transitions, and so yeah, there were times when the pregnancy itself, to the glory of God, I had a fantastic. I had no issues.
I attest to it.
Except at the very, very end, but that's a whole different thing. It was a very easy pregnancy, very easy. In fact, when I say things like I miss being pregnant, my husband is like, he doesn't miss anything about it. I miss it. It was fun. It was absolutely fun for me. But like he said, we were just come out of the lockdown. I didn't have the job I had before, so I wasn't working. I was pregnant and getting heavier every day. And then he was trying to pick up all the things he was doing before. And then in a time where jobs weren't like they used to be at the time, so it was a tasking time for us financially. At the same time, God was saying to us, "You're moving," and how?
Where?
As to how? Because at the same time as well, because pregnancy is like 10 months, and so it's like, okay, you're moving. Okay, we're moving. God is saying you're leaving this country. Good. Before we leave the country, Lord, we have to leave house. Like there's another rent coming up. Are we going to stay here? I didn't like the house. I already told her that I'm living here. I'm not staying here.
That's one of the things pregnancy brought.
It wasn't a pregnancy.
She had a smell. She started smelling everywhere. It was smelly. She hated them. The house had mold.
Yeah, you discovered that the house had some mold issues, and I cannot stand mold for the life of me. I was done with the property. So I'm like, okay, we have to move. So we're in a situation where our finances were not where we wanted to be at the time. We had to leave the house or renew the rent. I wasn't going to renew. We had to leave. I knew I wanted to leave.
She already lived in one of the most expensive estates
It's not that
in
expensive. I mean, it's a
Abuja.
really good estate. Let's not get into that. It was kind of expensive, sha. It was not for the. I didn't like it for the money. I liked it because it was nice. The houses were nice. The environment is nice. That's why I
Yeah.
wanted to live. The Bible said, "Ask and you shall receive." So I have asked,
And
right?
she received to the
And
glory of God.
yes, the
It's a story
testimony
for
is
another day,
I
man.
lived there. But
Hmm.
my point is, at that time, it was a lot of transitions, and let me tell you, I trusted God in those moments. They
Hmm.
were they were stretching periods for us, stretching periods for me. And I've learned that every time something gets difficult, especially in the life of a child of God, when things get difficult, it's not it's not to break you. That's never the purpose of God. That's
Nah,
never
nah,
God's
nah.
intention. It's to make you stronger. It's to make you more mature.
That's true.
It's to strengthen your faith and
Draw you
deepen,
closer to
draw you
God.
closer to God, deepen your roots.
True.
Right. I remember the time I had my son in April, and that was the exact month we were our tenancy was up at the old place. We needed to move, and when I had him, was a fantastic delivery in less than 2 hours.
Hmm.
I had the baby to the glory of God, but we had to. That was the month we had to leave the house. We didn't have where to go. We didn't have the resources at the time to get to where we wanted to be. So many things were up in the air, and it was that month that they released Jaire You're Enough, Maverick
It's
Music.
true.
Let me tell
That
you,
season, that
it was
period.
that season. That song,
God bless. What's his name again?
Chandler Moore and the
Chandler.
group.
God bless you guys. If you're
Let me
watching this
tell
video, you guys saved the family.
Yeah, it was not them, it's God. But
A true.
God is them.
It was a consolation.
It was a
for
time
us.
that the song meant so much to me. Each time I used it to pray, I used it to worship, I used it to cry, I used it to talk to God. It was everything, and I really learned that Jehovah Jireh is enough. He's enough. He's enough. He's enough. So our time is already up. If you're going through, I think our lesson for today is if you're going through any transitional period,
Yeah.
and transitions in life, the older you get, the further you get in life, they're never easy. It's easier when you're a baby. It's easier when you're a child, when you're in primary school, secondary school. No, someone that's paying your bills, you don't care, whatever. You transition, you don't even know that you transition.
That's
But
true.
as an adult, and then a parent, you have another life you're taking care of, and the older you get, any season of moving from one thing to another is always going to stretch you. Transitions are not typically easy. They're not designed to be easy. And if you are a child of God, you know that there are two opposing forces. God is trying to move you from one thing to another, a good thing to a better thing, and the devil is trying to do the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be a lot of push or pull and tug. Those times is when you need to deepen your trust in God, because so many things that looked impossible, God made possible for us.
That's
So many
true.
things.
So many things.
The relocation cost a lot of money. At the time that God said this is where you're going to go, we did not have it. We didn't know how we were going to get it. But the end of the story is that we're here now. We're here. We're here. Oh, and it's just the glory of God. God did it. Jesus did that. He gets all the glory.
That's right.
So take away for today, please. Trust
Take
God.
away for today. Yeah.
Trust God.
Mm-hmm.
If you're transitioning, trust God. If you're not, if you just transition and you're, in a place of comfort, and congratulations, but don't forget that it doesn't last very long. Okay, the Bible says that the path of the just is like a shining light that gets better and brighter. The process of getting brighter is a transition.
That's right.
There's always going to be bumps. So, all right. So just trust God, and our time is way up. We have to go now.
Yeah.
So,
but let me also say
okay.
this. Like she already pointed out before, but I think someone needs to hear this. As God is changing your face, or changing the face of your life, or you're transitioning, it is not meant to break you.
Oh no.
That's not God's intention.
No, never.
It's not meant to break you. So it might be a little bit hard, tough, but relax. Relax. The one who started it, his name is Alpha and Omega. He starts and he finishes. In our life, He's an expert strategist. We've
Oh.
seen it happen.
Man,
We can't even explain.
I don't know, man.
We don't know how to explain it. If God did it for us, He can do it for
absolutely,
you.
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
He will do it for
absolutely.
you.
He'll do it.
Thank you very much.
It is too long. It's already almost 20 minutes. So we have to go, guys. See you next week.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We love you. Please watch. Please subscribe. Tell your friends, tell another of your friends to watch. And we'll catch you next week. Have a good day, a blessed day, a blessed week, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you very much.